You're ready, Camille.
The beginning of presentation. I chose this topic because I thought it was an interesting topic to write about. And I found it interesting because of the architecture and art that was made then. And dedication. I'd like to dedicate this project to my mom. She helped me a lot through my journey on making this paper, including paper organization and instruction on what to do when I was stuck. I thank her for her assistance on this project. Actually, the medieval times began in the 1200s and ended around 1600. The medieval times is called Middle Ages and Dark Ages as well. There were a lot of important events that happened, such as the bubonic plague, ancient art, and the numbering system. Churches were more powerful than kings and queens because they had a greater independence by not paying tax for the land they were on. Clothing. Men and women in medieval times did not have much color in their clothing, so it was really expensive to dye clothes. The clothing worn by everyday people was also usually basic and bland. Nobles would wear various shades of red and green in their clothing to display how wealthy they were. The only ones who would wear blue or purple were kings and queens. Architecture. One of the most common forms of architecture built were cathedrals, which were large churches. During around the 12,000s, many architects were hired to build Gothic-style cathedrals, which have big, colorful, stained glass windows and pointed arches. Many craftsmen were hired to make illuminated manuscripts. An illuminated manuscript are handmade books with colorful illustrations. Government. The Magna Carta was introduced during the time. The Magna Carta is a set of laws that help protect against violence and illegal activities, such as unlawful taxation and landowners' equal rights. The Magna Carta laws rose above kings, queens, and popes, so they couldn't do anything unlawful to everyday people. The Magna Carta helped shape the U.S. Bill of Constitution. The U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights. Religion had a large role in medieval ages. The Muslim religion was one of the main religions during the time. It was more powerful, and it was about 3 times larger than the Christian religion. Around the year 700 to 1000, Muslim armies conquered large portions of the Middle East, and the land that was conquered was ruled over one person called the Caliph. Economics. Nowadays, people use cash or credit. In the Middle Ages, they used coins made of various kinds of metals, such as copper, tin, nickel, and if you were very wealthy, silver or gold. Merchants would usually use silver, and occasionally, if they were trading with different countries or continents, they would use gold. Major events. There were quite a few major events that happened, but the most known was the bubonic plague. It was the biggest catastrophe in medieval times in history. It changed society in many ways. It killed so many people, around 20 million. It was dubbed the Black Death. The worst place to be during the time were largely populated areas and cities where people were crowded together. Warfare. Instead of guns, they used knives, spears, and catapults, and some bombs for hand-to-hand combat. Leather armor could not protect against arrows or anything related to them. After leather armor was introduced, chainmail armor was invented, which protected against swords, knives, and other things like that.
Wow, that's cool.
Inventions. There were many inventions that were introduced including the first paper money created in China, 1023. The printing press was also created in China in 1040. Also, the introduction of the Hindu-Arabic numbering system was discovered by Leonardo da Vinci and used in Europe after traveling to Algeria and North Africa in 1202. In fact, both the scientists and philosophers still developed developed this numbering system that is still used today. Conclusion. So what about the manipulation is important to learn about? It's important mainly because lots of things we use today were introduced back then. Great examples are the Magna Carta, which is a set of laws which shaped the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights. The numbering system introduced by Leonardo da Vinci is and we use the system today. Understanding that plagues have negatively affected societies for centuries are catastrophic, much like the recent COVID-19 pandemic. There's no wonder the Middle Ages were highly influential for our current society. Yeah, but I don't have. Alright, you like suggested something to me. What was it again? Oh, okay. Maybe like I don't know, one of like I'm pretty sure it showed a picture of one of the cathedrals, so maybe you could do like yeah, do a drawing of like one of the cathedral things.
Back to the cathedral.
Yeah.
Slide.
Yeah. The one with the cathedral picture. Pixelated photo of money. It's like way back there.
It rotates. Okay, so maybe you want to draw a stained glass window.
I think
Camille, look at that. Good job. You did like present. What did you do? Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Did you set the trash? I'm back in the trash.
You can take it back for now.
Oh.
Feel help. Michael out. I'm pretty sure paper's already tossed out.
I need paper.
No.
It's so good.
Yeah. I'm 90% sure.
Like that ticket.
I'm using
Scribble.
Yeah, you scribble.
Paper, I didn't drawing that one. Oh, are we drawing the big one? Are we drawing the big one?
Are you so
Here, maybe
okay.
I'm married to a rat.
It's still recording, you know that. It's still recording.
Camille, come here.
I don't like yours.
Oh, I had a couple of.
Yes, Camille. No.
It sounds like a rat getting like really close to like a mic or something.
Clara?
Hey, yo.
Please.
Hey, yeah.
I'm gonna pause the recording at this time during the activity.
Wait, they're off.
Okay, any questions? Bailey.
Okay, so you said that they like vulnerability sensitive. What about dinosaurs? Did those used or no? Or did they just not even know they existed?
They might have been used during trading. I'm not 100% sure. Like depending on like where you were, they might have been used during trading, but probably not.
Did they know diamonds were rare? Or were they just like, oh, cool, something?
I don't know. Probably. Jacob.
Did you draw those?
These
Yeah.
and that, yes. Yes, I did. Ethan.
Was the guillotine a thing in the medieval times?
What?
The guillotine.
Guillotine?
Chops off your head.
Yeah. I didn't read about that, so I don't know. Probably, 'cause it's a fancy word. But Michaela.
Why was Wales there?
What? Can you say that again?
Why would Wales only wear blue and purple?
Because those are expensive colors.
Very
It's like expensive, like back then it was expensive, it was like really expensive to like just give clothing colors, and blue and purple were extremely expensive. Because they were hard to find in nature. Okay, any I likes?
I like every
Raise your hand.
Sophia. Thank you. Bailey.
I like the way.
Thank you.
Ethan has an highlight.
I'm so sorry. Isa. Yes. Okay. Sorry.
I want your coffee.
Thank you. You were raising your hand.
yeah.
Yes.
I liked how when you didn't have time to make a activity, but you thought quickly to do activity.
Ethan.
I like how you spoke loudly.
Thank you. Or the microphone does have it. Thank you.
Vienna.
I was able to understand like the clothing and everything.
Thank you. Okay. Is there any more I likes or Eli?
I like how it was clear what information kind of has.
Any what ifs? Jacob.
You didn't look at your notebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Olivia.
What if you speak a bit more slowly?
Yeah.
Hey, let's give Camille'a a round of applause.
Yay.